The Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, show number 684.
Welcome to the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, helping you celebrate Celtic culture through music.
I am Mark Gunn, and this podcast is for fans of Celtic music, not just the ones you know, but a lot of the independent ones as well. It is here to build a diverse Celtic community and help the incredible artists who so generously share their music with you. If you hear music you love, please email artists. Let them know you heard them on the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast. Musicians depend on your generosity to keep making music. They create this music as much for you as they do for themselves, so please find a way to support them. Buy a CD, album pen, shirt, digital download, join their community on Patreon. You can find a link to all of the artists in the show notes along with show times when you visit our website at CelticMusicPodcast.com. Today, I'm happy to share an interview with the Friel Sisters. This band is headlining IRISHFEST Atlanta along with Cherish the Ladies, which is happening this weekend, and they are headlining, performing on Friday night. In the meantime, I am really excited to be out there at the festival. I will have an Irish and Celtic Music Podcast booth out at the festival. And I'm also performing Saturday morning with my daughter Inara. She's taking the lead for this show. So I hope you can join us and help kick off IRISHFEST Atlanta on Saturday, November 9th. Look forward to seeing you out there. In the meantime, send in your Celtic art designs for our 2025 shirts and stickers. I want to see and share your Celtic art. You might even make a little bit of money doing it, so send it to follow@bestcelticmusic.net. If you are a Celtic musician or in a band, then please submit your band to be played on the podcast. You don't have to send in any music or an EPK, electronic press kit. You will get a free ebook called Celtic Musician's Guide to Digital Music, and you will learn how to follow the podcast. It's 100% free. Just email follow@bestcelticmusic.net. And of course, listeners can send an email there as well and learn how to subscribe to the podcast and get free music-only episodes, as well as free downloads. There's lots of great stuff over on Patreon, our Patreon. So go check it out. Send an email to follow@bestcelticmusic.net. We kicked off the show with the Inland Seas. That was Bheag Mhor from Down by the Greenwood Side. Next up is Adam Agee and John Sousa with Runs in the Family, and Angry Birds from Suantraí.
where the world gang and all who lay with it kin, but left by my side. The lark to its nest, the stream to the ocean, the star to its home in the west. And I to my Mairi, and I to my darling, and I to the one I love best. Oh, time shall not touch thee, nor trouble come near thee, the man grow old like a lave. And gin ye gang marry the way of the weary, I'll follow thee soon to the grave.
This sun is sinking fast. My race is nearly run. My strongest trials now are past. My triumph has begun. Oh, come, angel band, come and around me stand. Oh, bear me away on your snow white wings to my immortal home. Oh, bear me away on your snow white wings to my immortal home. I'll bear my longing heart to him who bled and died for me, whose blood now cleanses from all sins and gives me victory. Oh, come, angel band, come and around me stand. Oh, bear me away on your snow white wings to my immortal home. Oh, bear me away on your snow white wings to my immortal home. I've almost reached my heavenly home. My spirit loudly sings. The holy ones, behold, they've come. I hear the noise of wings. Oh, come, angel band, come and around me stand. Oh, bear me away on your snow white wings to my immortal home. Oh, bear me away on your snow white wings to my immortal home. I know I'm near the holy ranks of friends and kindred dear. I've brushed the dew on Jordan's banks. The crossing must be near. Oh, come, angel band, come and around me stand. Oh, bear me away on your snow white wings to my immortal home. Oh,
After Agee and Sousa came Sassenach with Mairi Bhan from Passages. Then opened the door for 3 with the fairy jig set from A Prosperous Gale. And we finished up the set with Angel Band by the Drowsy Lads from their album Wide Awake. All right. I want your feedback. What are you doing today while listening to the podcast? You can send a written comment along with a picture of what you're doing while listening. I would love to see your pictures. I'd also love to find out how you're listening to the podcast. Drop me a line. Follow at bestcelticmusic.net. Patrick Reiger emailed some photos. Hi, Mark. I feel like I've been slacking this summer sending you pictures after having sent so many. Celtic Pittsburgh hasn't been doing much the past few months, though we do have plans in the works for an event in October. Meanwhile, the Renaissance Festival season for my family and I started, and when we attended the Great Lakes Medieval Fair the weekend of July 27th and 28th. It was a great weekend, and we needed time away from the daily routine. With life so busy for everyone, we hardly see friends anymore, and this is a chance to see many of them. We were happy to find that our friend Captain John Stewart, aka Richard Brentar, has returned to Great Lakes after being absent for so many years. I'm not sure what I enjoy more, his music or his stories. He always has lots of great stories to tell. We also saw the Jackdaws, Celtic Mayhem, Michael Mandarin. Sadly, we didn't make the shows of Menagerie Music this year, but we did manage to catch up with Lisa from that duo. My family and I, plus a couple of friends, went to see John McCain and Hamish at Mullany's Harp and Fiddle in Pittsburgh in August. These two are a lot of fun with great energy and get the place jumping. I haven't seen them for 15 years, starting when they were part of the Cohen Beef and Curry Band. Sadly, they broke up when one of the 3 decided to explore other musical paths. I'll be sending more pictures of Celtic musicians after September, after trips or 2 or more Ren fairs. Until then, Sláinte. Thank you so much, Patrick. I love getting the pictures. I love seeing the Celtic musicians out there. So if any of you out there have some pictures, send them. Follow at bestcelticmusic.net. You can share them, and I will get them on the podcast. Ideally, you want to send like 1 or 2. More than that, it becomes very difficult to manage. But, whatever you got, I will be happy to take and see what I can use. So send those pictures in. Oh, if you do enjoy Renaissance festivals, I am performing at the Georgia Renaissance Festival Fall Fling for 3 weekends in November. So I guess the first one you'll have already missed when this episode comes out. But there will be one on the 23rd and the 30th of November, 2024. So hope you can make it out. Cheryl Arvio emailed some photos as well. Hi, Mark. Sorry these photos aren't better, but this is Socks in the Frying Pan from Friday night's show at the Irish American Heritage Center in Chicago. Brilliant as they always are. Bummed that they are not playing at Milwaukee IRISHFEST this year, but happy to see them and pick up their new CD in our hometown best. Yes, the Socks in the Frying Pan have a brand new album, and I'm looking forward to playing it on the podcast in the near future if I haven't already done so. I don't remember if I had or not. All right, today I am very fortunate to have an interview with the Friel Sisters. This is one of the headlining bands at IRISHFEST Atlanta that's happening this weekend, in fact. They will be performing, I guess, when this goes out, it's going to be tomorrow night. So if you want to check them out, hopefully you've already listened to it, but even if you hadn't, I think you'll get a great kick out of this, because this is the Friel Sisters with their brand new album. It's so new, in fact, I don't know if I have the album name. I got the tracks, I guess, on Halloween, and I've been, sitting on this interview for about a month and a half. So I was starting to wonder if I was going to have it out in time for their performance at IRISHFEST Atlanta, but I'm so happy that they got the music to me. And it was a great interview. I love getting to know the Friel Sisters. So without further ado, here's my interview. All right, we are here with Claire of the Friel Sisters. How are you doing, Claire?
I'm great. How are you doing yourself, Mark?
I'm doing fantastic. It's wonderful to finally get you on the podcast.
It's a pleasure.
I've been looking forward to it.
So
I want to know about the Friel Sisters. Can you tell me how you got started and tell me a little bit about yourselves?
Yeah, sure. So we actually are sisters, which I know some people, we get that question a lot. Are you really sisters? No, we really are. There are 3 of us. I'm Claire, the youngest of the 3 of us, Smugly, the youngest of the 3 of us. And then Anna and Sheila are twins, my older sisters. So we've kind of grown up in a house of music, steeped in lots of different types of music, but mostly traditional Irish. Our family all played music and all sang, particularly our grandmother. There was always music around. Our mother is a beautiful singer, and so music was a really important part of our household. Our father can't play. He can't sing, unfortunately. He can just about keep in time, and he's an excellent jiver. He can dance, but no traditional music on our dad's side. But we were actually born in Glasgow in Scotland, but all of our family are from Donegal in the northwest of Ireland, which is where all of our music comes from. It's a beautiful part of Ireland, Donegal, and our mother's side is in Durnamanshire, which is very northwest, and our father's side is Kerry-Keel, which is another beautiful part of the county. But like a lot of people in Ireland, immigration played a huge factor in the way in which people were moved and brought up in different places. So we were part of the immigration of the people from Donegal to Scotland particularly, and that's why we were born in Scotland. Glasgow's a fantastic place, and we were lucky to be brought up there, but Donegal is home. So we're over and back since we were children, over and back to Donegal. But that's the three of us, and then we're very lucky to be joined in the band by our two fantastic friends, Marty Barry, who's from Banbridge in County Down, and Cathal O'Curran, who is just across the water from us in Donegal in a place called Gweedore. It's another very musical area. So that's five of us in the band. That's us.
Now, what do you and your sisters play?
So I'm the fiddle player. Okay. My sister Anna is our flute player, and Sheila is an uilleann piper. Okay. So the uilleann pipes are a very unusual instrument. They're becoming far more prominent now, which is a great thing. They were an instrument that were nearly gone, unfortunately. But at the turn of the century, there really weren't many people playing the instrument or making them. And thankfully now that has all changed.
Now, Donegal has its own unique style of fiddling, I know. Does it extend to all the instruments and such? I
would say so, yeah. So the unique fiddle style comes from a long time of the fiddle being one of the most prominent instruments in the county, and very important musicians and fiddle players coming from Donegal. So we have lots of really influential fiddle players in Donegal over 100 years, really, and but that certainly hasn't stopped the other instruments joining in either. So flute playing really wouldn't have been. The flute wasn't a huge instrument in the county. Another thing that's thankfully changing, and the uilleann pipes really weren't either. But there's a very important piper called Mhor, Tarlach Masivanya, and he was an absolute character of a man, but he would have been a very important piper, and he was from Donegal. But apart from that, there really weren't that many pipers coming from Donegal. But thankfully, that's another thing that's changing. There's a lot more pipers in Donegal, but the style is certainly different. The tunes, like I was saying, the people had moved over and back between Scotland and Donegal, unlike the rest of the country, where some people might have moved to England or to America or to Canada for work, which was nearly, especially coming across the Atlantic, that was nearly very few people made it back home after making that very, very long journey. But thankfully, those who went to Scotland, it was closer to seasonal work, really. They could be away for 6 months or 9 months, but they would get to come home, a lot of them anyway. A lot of the work when they crossed the Irish Sea was working on farms, or then later on working on the roads and tunnels and construction work. But they were able to go home, but that movement of people over and back between Donegal and Scotland meant that a lot of music and songs and dance and language moved over and back with it. So that's kind of shown in the fiddle playing, where there are similarities between the Scottish fiddle playing and the Donegal fiddle playing, which is unlike the rest of the country and the rest of the Irish fiddle tradition. So it's quite interesting when you look at the way in which all the tunes and styles and things were shared between those two places. It's just a mirror of the people that moved over and back.
That's fantastic. Awesome. Well, why don't we hear some of the music that you have? You have a brand new album that's is it going to be a release in time for IRISHFEST Atlanta? I
think it will, yeah. It's very exciting for us. We're looking forward to being able to bring it onto the other side of the Atlantic, and I think IRISHFEST is going to be our first chance to do that.
Well, what song or track did you have in mind for playing for us?
So we'll let you hear one of our favourite tracks from the album to start us off here. And it's one of our favourite tracks because the tunes are beautiful, but the name of the last tune particularly is just probably one of our favourite names. The first tune we'll play is a set of jigs, so 3 jigs. The first tune is a very common tune in the tradition. It's called Born for Sport. And then we'll go into a beautiful tune from Donegal, from the Donegal fiddle tradition, the Fairy Jig. And then we'll finish off again with one of our favourite names, Kissing and Drinking, which is a fantastic tune that it was, although it's a very funny name, it was actually collected a long time ago as part of the Goodman collection. So it's a very old tune. It's a beautiful tune. So we just call these Kissing and Drinking.
So you have a brand new album, and as you explained earlier, before we had a few technical issues, you don't know the name of the album. It is not the Friel Sisters, because that was your first album. And so, but you do have a brand new one that it's coming out very soon, hopefully in time for IRISHFEST Atlanta. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what makes this album special?
Yeah, sure. So it's really just a time capsule. I think every album is a time capsule. You know, you're just recording music that means a lot to you at that time. So our first album was 2014, our second one was 2018, and now this one is a little long overdue, I would say. We are very lucky to have our two friends, Cathal and Marty, on this one. Both fantastic musicians, apart from being great friends of ours and absolute blackguards. They are total rogues of men, but we love them to bits. They're probably the closest thing we have to brothers. There's only the three sisters here, but Cathal and Marty are very, very, very close. I think when you're touring so much with each other, you have to be as close as siblings. So we're very, very lucky that we have Cathal and Marty on this. So it's really, what makes this album so special for us is that we really get to, we just got to record as the 5-piece and the 5 people playing music that we love together. So I think that's what makes it really special. We've got some beautiful tunes on this album, all traditional tunes on this one. A couple of kind of newer composed, but certainly still part of the tradition. And some tunes that haven't really been recorded too many times, and then some that are some of the most common tunes in the tradition. So it's great to be able to put our little spin on these, and to have Cathal and Marty as well to really add bouzouki and guitar behind these tunes and the arrangement of these and everything as well. So then the songs that we have on this are quite special too. We have a beautiful song called Sheephaven Bay, which is about leaving Donegal, and it kind of mentions all of the areas around Donegal, which is really, really beautiful.
And we're going to have you do a special patron-only story about that one, right?
We are. There's it's a beautiful song, but I won't give too much away for the patrons only. So then we have another couple of songs on it. We were very, very kindly gifted a couple of songs for this album. We've decided we were gifted, which is really, really quite special, a song called The Star of Crolly Town. Crolly is a tiny little village just next to our own home place down in Manchester. And it's hardly a town at all. It's actually a village. It's very, very small. The only things in Crolly are, apart from a few people, is a petrol station, a pub, and now a fantastic distillery. So there's whiskey and petrol in Crolly, but that's about it, apart from some great people and some great crack. But this song is not one that's ever been done before, in that we were very, very kindly gifted the words of the song from a great friend of ours, Mhor, who is a founding member of the legendary band Altan. She's a great friend of ours. She's been a very important person in our musical lives and also in our personal lives. She's a great friend of ours. She's nearly like an auntie to us. And Mhor heard this from a local man from a townland in Donegal called Gortahork. And the words are really, really beautiful. It's about a man who kind of sails over from an island off Donegal. We think it might be the island Mhor, which is a beautiful part of an island off Donegal. And he sails over and he ends up in Crolly Town, and he meets this beautiful girl, but she doesn't want to leave Crolly. So the poor man is heartbroken. But what makes this song a little different for us is that we were gifted these beautiful words by Mhor and this fantastic man from Gortahork, but we actually put a different air. We put our own air to it, which is not something that we've done before. So we sat down just before we went into the recording studio, actually the night before our last day in the recording studio, and it was just one that we felt that we really wanted to do. So we sat down around the table just before we went into the studio, and we just made this air up for this song. So it's called Star of Crolly Town, and it's a really special little song for us. So that's another thing that makes this album quite special is little touches like that and special little songs for us. So this is certainly one of these ones.
I courted her, my own, my earthly joy. Her parents, they admired her, I a fine fisher boy. The mail cart I kept going, with letters small and brown, addressed unto my darling girl, star of Crolly town. With my fishing boat and crew afloat, to Crolly used to stray, with spirits bright and mood so light, to view this maid so gay. Her charms would penetrate your heart, as my small boats we would row out in that narrow estuary, where the rippling waters flow.
Wonderful. So you have the brand new album, and November 8th through 10th is IRISHFEST Atlanta, and you are performing that weekend. Is that correct?
We are. We're really looking forward to this one. We've never performed as this band in anywhere near Atlanta, so it's really exciting for us to get to bring our music to IRISHFEST. It's one that we've had on our radar for a little while now. I was lucky enough to be there 2 years ago with Altan, and so I was just so delighted when the committee of the festival asked us to be there. We're really, really excited for that, to bring our music to Atlanta.
And you have a show. I think it's on Friday night. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes, 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Okay, and you're doing a workshop as well. Is that right? We
are. So we're performing on Friday night at 8 p.m. in the Roswell Cultural Arts Centre, and then on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. we'll be doing a few workshops, the five of us. So it's going to be great.
What kind of what are you teaching?
So we'll be doing all of our instruments which is great. So I'll be doing fiddle. We've got flute and uilleann pipes, as well as guitar, bouzouki, and maybe a few songs in there too.
And is that all the workshops? Or do you have any on Sunday as well, or no?
No. So we're just Friday and Saturday, and I think we'll definitely be around for a few tunes. Our great friends, Cherish the Ladies, will be there too. They're friends of ours for a very long time, and they've always been very good to us. They've always been very kind to us, and we've always had good crack as well. So I think it'll be a special one. It's going to be a really good weekend, and we're actually really looking forward to it.
Is there anything else that you're looking forward to for the weekend? What else are you hoping to do?
So we're just actually looking forward to kind of being at such a fantastic area. Last time I was there, I had some incredible food. I'll be honest, we had a ball to ourselves. Great drink, great food, and great music. I don't really know what else we could want. So we've got a lot of friends in the area and people who play music around, and people who come down for the festival as well. So IRISHFEST is going to be really, really special for us, and especially if we get to perform some of our new songs and our new tunes with our friends. And then even on top of that, we get to be with Cherish Ladies. So we're really looking forward to it.
Fantastic. I had a question about Donegal. So you grew up in Donegal. Can you tell us, some listeners, what kind of thing, maybe one item that anyone who goes to Donegal should definitely see? I mean, something unique, interesting, super awesome for you.
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. There's so many special things about Donegal, and the people are a huge part of that. You know, it really is. It's a really beautiful county, and the thing about Donegal is we're so northwest, so far up in the northwest. It's wild. It's an absolutely wild county. It's absolutely stunningly beautiful. It's an amazing place with a huge, very rich and deep sort of cultural haven and music and songs and all of these. And then you look outside and it's, you know, even in the rain, which happens very often, unfortunately, even in the rain, you know, the drama of the hills, and we have the highest sea cliffs in Europe, called Slieve League, which is another beautiful part of the country. But we're so lucky. It's such a beautiful, beautiful county, but we're very sort of cut off from the rest of the country. You know, it feels so far away. One fantastic thing is what I could say to any of your listeners would be, if it was me, what I would love to do would be to fly from Dublin and fly in. We've got a tiny little beautiful airport, and the airport has won number one airport landing in the world for a number of years in a row now, because you land essentially right onto the beach. It's absolutely stunningly beautiful, and I've been on that flight hundreds of times in the morning and the evening and the sunset and the sunrise and all times of year, and I am never, even in the fog, I am never disappointed. It's one of the most beautiful airports and locations and airport landings. And honestly, it's not an expensive flight either, so it's even better. So you land right onto the beach, and then you're right in the heart of the Gaeltacht, which is in the Irish-speaking area. So you know you're right in the middle of absolute. You know, it's so beautiful, and the language and the people and the music and the songs, you know, it's just a stunning, stunning, stunning part of the country, and it's certainly not to be missed. But I know for a lot of people, it's very far away, and it's kind of cut off from the rest of the country. You know, we don't have transport links, unfortunately, but the airport has really helped us kind of open up to the rest of the country when you can fly straight from Dublin. So it's really genuinely not to be missed. We've got a beautiful mountain called Errigal, which just stands really tall and proud over the county. We all can see it from our home windows, and it's a really, really, really beautiful place. It's, you know, we tend to, we know the area and we've grown up in the area, but just to get lost on some of the wee back roads is a really special thing to do.
Yeah. I had a great time a number of years back. We went up to Donegal, and I actually wrote a tune called Cloud and Mhor for the passage tune. I think it's like one of the furthest west passage tombs of Ireland. Well, what was left of it. It was mostly just a bunch of rocks in the middle of a sheep field, but still, it was glorious. So.
Still counts. It still counts. It's an area of a lot of history and culture, and mythology. Actually, we've got a lot of great folklore in Donegal. So honestly, you could spend 2 weeks in Donegal and you wouldn't see it all. It's just a really beautiful place. Our beaches are stunning, absolutely stunning, and our water is freezing. So it's a perfect hangover cure. Throw yourself into the Atlantic Ocean for 10 minutes and you'll certainly get a bit of a shock. It can only be good for you.
All right. Well, let's finish up with one final track. Why don't you can introduce the final track from your new album. And thank you so much for being a part of the podcast.
Thanks, Mark. It's been an absolute pleasure to be part of it. And we're really, really looking forward to getting down to IRISHFEST Atlanta. These tunes are another set of tunes that we just love. The first tune is called The Queen of the Rushes. It's a beautiful tune. It's an old tune. We would have learned it from recordings of the fantastic Lee Mufflin, the master piper, and then also the master fiddle player, Tommy Peoples, from our own county. So Queen of the Rushes is the first one. Then we'll go into a beautiful tune called Scully Casey's. Then we'll finish off with a great flute tune, which is not, we don't get to play many flute tunes, but this is a great one called McGovern's Favourite. So this is two jigs and a reel. So we hope you enjoy these and we look forward to seeing you all along the way. Thanks, Mark.
hope you enjoyed that interview. If you did, there will be a bonus episode, a bonus story that will be posted onto Patreon. So make sure you go check that out. It is exclusively available for patrons. You can find their music at frielmusic.com. That's Friel music.com. All right. Thank you, patrons of the podcast. You are so amazing. It is because of your generosity that you get to hear so much great Celtic music each and every week. Your kindness pays for our engineer, graphic designer, Celtic Music Magazine editor, promotion of the podcast. It allows me to buy the music I play here. It also pays for my time creating the show each and every week. As a patron, you get ad-free and music-only episodes before regular listeners. You get to vote in the Celtic Top 20. You get standalone stories, and you get a private feed to listen to the show, or you can listen through the Patreon app, all for as little as $1 per episode. There's also some bonus stuff. There's some free albums that you can get for subscribing. And there's still a whole bunch of tracks in Songhenge that are available for free download for a certain level. I think it's a Songhenge level patron, $5 per episode. But go support the podcast. It's a great way to not only join the community, but also to get some free stuff. Special thanks to our Celtic legends. These amazingly generous people pledge $25 or more per month to support this show. Thanks to Bruce, Brian McReynolds, Marty Myers, Alan Schindler, Karen D.M. Harris, Emma Bartholomew, Dan McDade, Miranda Nelson, Nancy Barnett, Kevin Long, Gary R. Hook, Linda McNeil, Kelly Garrett, Annie Lurkowski, and Sean Callie. Here is your 3-step plan to support the podcast. Number 1, go to our Patreon page. Number 2, decide how much you want to pledge every week. $1, $5, $25. Make sure you cap how much you want to spend per month. And number 3, keep listening to the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast to celebrate Celtic culture through music. You can become a generous patron of the podcast on Patreon at songhenge.com. You can also travel with me on a Celtic Invasion vacation. Every year I take a small group of Celtic music fans on the relaxing adventure of a lifetime. We don't see everything. Instead, we stay in one area. We get to know the region through its culture, history, and legends. You can join us with an auditory and visual adventure through podcasts and videos. Learn about the invasion at CelticInvasion.com. The next one, we're going to Galicia in Spain, one of the 7 Celtic nations, basically when the Celts came out of Austria and then traveled all over continental Europe and then were wiped out by Caesar. Well, it turns out this little area is fairly well protected with mountains, and it was a little bit more difficult to wipe out the Celts in Galicia. And so I am really excited that we're going to go explore this region. I've already started looking at some pictures and some videos, and it just looks spectacular. And of course, the food sounds just absolutely amazing, and the drink sounds incredible. So if you want to join me, come go check out CelticInvasion.com to find out more. And speaking of Celtic Invasion vacations, I've started to post photos of my Celtic Invasion vacations over on my Patreon page. That's my personal Patreon page. You can find that at patreon.com/CeltFather. I will share links every week in the Celtic Top 20. And I will also be posting some photos over on Facebook as well, but not nearly as many, and you won't get the full experience. So check it out. It is a free to just check it out. It's basically a blog that I have that I share these photos in, so you can see what it's like. Go to CelticInvasion.com for details. Let's get back to the music. Dancing with Hobbits is my newest album. I meant to get the October Waltz into the October time frame, but alas, I was a little bit late. So we're going to share the October Waltz right now.
Let me sit with this. Let me take it in. Let me understand it from deep within. Let me sit with this. Let me take it in. Let me understand it from deep within. When oh, when will this be over? When oh, when will it end? An end to shame, an end to sorrow. And when it's done, the time to grow. Let me sit with this. Let me take it in. Let me understand it from deep within. Another dawn, another winter, and troubled dreams and darkness came. But I'll grow tall as days grow warmer, and in the light of time to grow. Let me sit with
After Dancing with Hobbits came the Henry Girls with The Time to Grow from their same titled album. And we finished up the set with a River Driver. That was Blair Mountain from their album Live at Steelstacks. I hope you enjoyed this week's show. If you did, please tell a friend. And make sure you vote in the Celtic Top 20 for 2024. This is our way of finding the best songs and artists each year. You can vote for as many songs and tunes that inspire you in each episode. Your vote helps me create next year's Best Celtic Music of 2024. You have just 3 weeks to vote. Yeah, let me double check that. Yeah. Just 3 weeks to vote, and then the overall voting is closing in about a month. So you need to get those votes in as soon as possible. We're going to finish up the set with Rakish. This is Lightly as the Rain Came Down from their album Now, Oh Now. I thank you so much for being here. I love that you spend your time with me each and every week to enjoy Celtic music. It's a great experience, and I'm grateful to have you here. Thank you so much. Back again next week. Sláinte.
she has set you free. Lightly as the rain came down, she shut the door and left her key.
The Irish and Celtic Music Podcast is produced by Mark Gundy, Celtfather, and our patrons on Patreon. The show is edited by Mitchell Peterson with graphics by Miranda Nelson Designs. Visit our website to follow the show. You'll find a link to all the artists played in this episode. Todd Wiley is the editor of the Celtic Music Magazine. Subscribe to get 34 Celtic MP3s for free. Plus, you'll get 7 weekly news items about what's happening with Celtic music and culture online. Best of all, you will connect with your Celtic heritage. Please tell one friend about this podcast. Word of mouth is the absolute best way to support any creative endeavor. Finally, remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, and think about how you can make a positive impact on climate change. Promote Celtic culture through music at CelticMusicPodcast.com.